Hey. Today, the wishing you be favored and that your land and the air above you be, blessed and takes on a whole different meaning. Everywhere's on, I don't want to affirm what's happening on the planet, but the planet is kind of doing her thing, right? It's like a super smudge, super cleansing. A lot of these areas, okay. So with that said, before I get into whatever I'm going to share today, because I don't know why, I just got the notion to do this video like right now, is to just send, prayers, and I hope people are safe and feeling as best as they can during this time. This time is like, what? And so may you and your family, your animals, your plants, your children be favored, be comforted, brought peace. May you have peace. May you be in peace. May you have love. May you be in love. Ashe. Amen. Okay. I feel weird doing that too, just so y'all know. That's not something I typically share out loud. I want to get into that practice. For some reason, I'm hearing to do a video about realness, and I guess share my own experience about what I see as real, what I recognize was not real, and even within like the social construct that's happening right now, what's real. And I guess like real and truth are somewhat similar. So I'll just share this part with like the realness part, where I was, what I think I went through and am going through and will be going through, and then like where I'm at now. So I think I bought really into the spiritual, okay, I'll tell you this a little bit. So for me, growing up, I thought I was super weird. Like I would feel and see things and share that with people, and I would kind of get in trouble for that, if you know what I mean. Like, I've said this in other videos, but I'm just gonna, I don't know why. Anyhow, kind of like magical stuff, or like what we call witchy, but even that word, like, I like the word. I'm not opposed to the word witch. I just am realizing like there's a whole history behind that as well, and not that I think it's shameful. I just think that it's anti-feminine or female, and I just want to get away from that aspect, or perception. Anyhow, that too, like that was mixed in with it, and then I was adopted, and I'm seeing fully much better now the abandonment and codependency things that I grew up with. And then we look at like the world and how things are looked at in the world, and we also see a weird, like, I feel like people who have been called African American or Black Americans in this country are like adopted in a way or something. And so and then all the issues that come with like economics and education and all these things, like I've seen this weird pattern that has happened through television, through what I think is religion, and then even love, right? How all these things have been manipulated in the world to either bring us joy or bring us some more suffering, right? And so before, what I think I've just gone through is like dark night of the soul and recognize more things. When I thought realness, I still think realness is like you do what you say. as best you can. And if you misrepresent, or you say something wrong or do something wrong, you at least own it and try to do your best to solve it. And I definitely recognize that I've not always done that, right? And and look at doing those things is intimidating, because it's like, shit, I gotta admit, that I did something wrong. And I had always thought that being spiritual and being in that spiritual space is like you never did anything wrong, and that you were always happy, and you were always without anger, and you were always without a shadow side, right? Or an angry side. Or that if you were angry, that you had something going on with you that you needed to work on, but I didn't, right? Totally bought into that. And there was a time where I living by myself, basically, or not having really any responsibility outside of myself, relationship wise. I thought I was doing pretty good. and I'm not saying that I wasn't. However, and all the theories of people coming together and us recognizing ourselves, it's real easy to not recognize yourself, I think, when you live in solitude. I think that you can recognize yourself in solitude, but it's hard to recognize yourself with other people when you're always in solitude. That's, I think, was and is part of my lesson, because I feel more comfortable when I'm in solitude. I feel less comfortable when I'm around people, just because I feel weird, not because I don't know who I am. And in this space, it's like coming into a place of allowing that part with the emotional part and the healing part to all show up. And I used to think that that was somebody who was not really real. And so I think because, and I think I wasn't real with myself on that aspect. And I still see parts of me. I see parts of me now where I know I'm not being real. I'm being real, but I'm still pretending, right? Still pretending to not be that weird person that sees things and feels things and hears things, because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, and I want people to like me. And I thought that that's what all spiritual people are supposed to be like, are all, spiritual people. And not really seeing certain traumatic patterns of response that I've been carrying, being afraid to really put on my big girl pants. And really seeing in the world that there are people that really just they're real too. It's just, I think that this is, and I've seen it through other teachers and stuff like that, is like the fractaling. And then I was thinking, how can we not be fractaled and fractured? Whoops. Not fractured, but fractal, different pieces of us, when we see all these different aspects outside of us, and then bringing what is inside of us outside. So with that said, there's some things that I've also been led to do that I also put off because it's kind of scary to me. So I'm going to try it out on this video. One of the things that has been suggested is that I begin my readings again. I offer tarot and oracle readings on here, and I really stepped away from that because I was so kind of in positive toxicity, that I really let myself and let some energies into my space that were not for my highest good. Or I guess maybe were for my highest good. I mean, it's so confusing when you're going through this process, because when you're in certain moments, you're like, this is awful. How'd this happen? How do I get out of it? What the hell? And then when you make it through it, you're like, okay, well, maybe I wouldn't have figured that out if I hadn't gone through that, but, right? Okay. That will probably be the picture on YouTube. Got coffee time. All right. Okay. So I'm going to do a little channeling. There's somebody who's watching who needs to hear. There's several people who will watch this who have messages. And somebody's name is either like Diana or Diane or Dion. I see a female energy who says something about a cat. And something about a train. You will know what I'm talking about. You will know who they're talking about. This person is like, I'm feeling a really strong, like, violet, and there's actually like pressure on my hands right now. It's like it's either an aunt or a grandmother. I'm hearing more closely like an aunt, who either worked with her hands or knows something about your hands. That seems to be the more true one. Something about your hands. And either she wants healing for your hands, and or you have healing hands. And maybe you've been wondering. A message about a castle in the sky to affirm the message. She's right next to you. She sees you. Okay. And then interesting. This message is for somebody who knows specifically who is being spoken to. A male, but no name is what they ask. Yeah. It's kind of dark, actually. I actually think that message is for me. And so, with that said, that person, who I see their name and their intentions in my mind and in feeling through, you are blocked from actually receiving this message and any vibrations of following through with any malintent. Okay. That needed to be said for the next person. Diamond. Okay. All right. J name like Janice, John, Joanna, J's. The next, yeah, okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So this person may even be closer than I think, in proximity even. And where you, who I'm speaking to, really believes in angels. So they want you to know that in your belief of angels. You're surrounded in angels. You just went through something very, very tragic and traumatic, and they are you are being lifted. Ancestors and a spiritual faith belief that you have is very supporting you, and I'm hearing they're saying to go to your spiritual group to help, to ask for help and support. You will be highly supported, and you will be received well. And actually, somebody within that group is wanting you to connect with them. Okay, and then I'm hearing the number 44. Somebody's been seeing the number 44, which equals 8, which aligns with infinity, but also I'm seeing a like genetic association, and you've been doing cord work and soul retrieval work, and see some green, so heart chakra work also. You're being kind of like congratulated that you've made it to this space. Or if you've been seeing the number 44, this is the message of late. Check out also your astrology, see what planet might relate to the number 44 or even 8. And that motorcycle? Something about a motorcycle. Just to solidify that. And that, yeah, the work that has been being done, the work that you're doing, the work your ancestors are doing, and even a future self is doing, is showing up in your dreams. Okay. And all right, and then the message from the planet is she's told a lot of people what's happening right now. They know what's happening. She's told a lot of the people what's happening right now, why it's happening right now, that she has control over the weather ultimately, no matter what HARP or any of these weather controlling things come in. We notice them. Some of the more sensitive people are noticing that some of this weather stuff and some of what's happening is not directly from the planet. Yet she does have control over putting a fire out and or stopping a hurricane. Like, she is a living being and she can stop certain things. Part of this is a cleansing. Part of this is an awakening for actually almost like eliminating certain angers and certain perspectives towards others, because it does actually shift people into a survival state of where those who are already there, but those who might be racist or really, say, discriminatory when it comes to your choice of politics or something like that. This kind of, it just puts everyone in a different place. And then that's not that there isn't great sadness for the losses and for the destruction, basically. And so she, of course, is sad for those feelings, and also letting us know that she sees what's happening and does have some autonomy as far as being able to help us put these fires and or shift the monsoons and certain things that are happening in a interior way. She's asking us to do this emotional work and this anger work and this saging work within us as well. And people are. And so she's talking to them as well. And has been. And so we're getting that message. And then there is a huge call for a connection of what are considered, I've heard supernoval souls, I've heard star beings, I've heard light workers, I've heard the new age shifters, crystal children, indigo children, Pleiadians, Syrians, Lyrans, even Marsians, and even some of the would have been deemed, say, like bad, quote unquote, aliens, Anunnaki, and some of the more animal looking creatures from other places are basically speaking to us, speaking to us through numbers, speaking to us through things that are happening even within your body, speaking to us through messages around us, speaking to us through our dreams. And to a lot of us do come together through dream time. She's asking to come together in this realm if we can, as best we can. And by coming together, meaning at least sharing the similarities, or sharing medicine, or sharing emotional healing processes, because that's the other part that's happening right now. So with that said, she's asking me to share some things with you all. So do I have it with me? No. Okay. Hey, hey, Mama, use our voices, use our sounds to ground us, do some earthing, share some earthing, and just a vibration. It's a vibration, and we all have a voice, and we all can make sound, even if it's out of tune. It actually heals what's out of tune. It helps what's out of tune be seen, yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. And may you be favored. May you be healthy as can be. And thanks for subscribing and listening. If you're interested in a reading, I do use tarot cards. Usually it just comes through intuition and you. So I hope those messages resonated. For those resonated, if you received your message and you heard it was you, please let me know. Leave a comment. Also, if you'd like to schedule, you can email me or you can leave a message here. Thanks for subscribing, watching, and see you next time. Have a good rest of your day as can be. Be safe.